vaccines on the rise, but are we vaccinating enough? Let's quickly take a look at this figure. Let's put it on the screen. This is, of course, the daily vaccination figures. As you can see on your screen right now, it's gone up and down, and it's been quite a crest and trough sort of a situation. But over the past one day, the past 24 hours, you have seen a dramatic increase, about 88,13,919 vaccinations that have been done so far. Now, this is being seen as a positive. But is it enough? And that is the most important. Let's quickly move to graphic number 2, India's vaccination equation. And this is very, very significant. Let's go full frame so that you can read those numbers. So if we aim to stop a third wave, our target is to vaccinate 60% of the population with both doses by December 2021. Remember what I'm saying. 60% of the population with both doses, not one, both. The required vaccination rate, it's almost like cricket run rate, the required vaccination rate of vaccinations per day to achieve this target is 10.4 million a day. The actual last 7-day average is 5.5 million a day. The daily shortfall in the last 7 days is 4.9 million a day. So we may have reached somewhere around 8.8 million, as you can see. The actual vaccination today is 8.8 million. We are still below the required vaccination rate of 10.4 million a day. So the shortfall today is 1.6 million, and the daily shortfall in a 7-day moving average is 4.9 million a day, and that is a cause of worry. Let's now take a look at the infections. This is the first wave, then the deadly second wave, and now at this moment the cases stand at 25,166. So this is actually a 5-month low, which is a good thing. But this is the time where we should really amp up our vaccination drive. So can 88 lakh continue and in fact even grow? Remember, our required vaccination rate has to be 10 million a day. Dr. Sunila Garg is a member of the Lancet Commission and COVID Task Force, India COVID Task Force. Thank you very much, Dr. Garg. We definitely must be excited and celebrate the fact that we are vaccinating 88 lakh people a day. This is a great achievement. We have vaccinated more than populations of many countries. But given the challenge that we have and the challenge we are trying to avoid, which is a third wave, do you think that this is enough?
Thank you, first of all, Sanket, for having me on the show.
My pleasure.
What I would like to say that, number one, that we have done 54.59 crore doses. And as you said, that basically we are doing about 88 lakh vaccinations per day. Now what we have to look at, you already said that we have to do 60% of the population. And when we look at the adults, we have got 90 crores into 2 doses, 180 crores. And if we look at, the 60% of that, that comes out to be around, 108 crores, something like that. But we have to also take into consideration the people who have been infected. So for them, we don't require the vaccination immediately. But as far as your question about vaccination is concerned, from next month onwards, we will have vaccines like Novavax. We will have also vaccines like Zycovid-B and also Sputnik Light. So overall, we will have roughly around 135 crore vaccines. But definitely, as you said, the challenge is big. But also we have risen up to the challenge. But we also have to take into consideration fewer issues. One is the gender-based issues. We have to address that. We also have to look at most vulnerable populations. That means homeless populations. We have to look at prison inmates and all that who have to be immunized very fast. And also we need to look at that we urgently address the issues of rural, peri-urban and tribal areas.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. Garg, see, the point is that we have significantly vaccinated people with the first dose. That rate is decent, yes, right? Now that is also a limitation, because the second dose will also have to be of the very same vaccine. So in that sense, you can't have a vaccine cocktail that you've given one person a Covishield and then that person can be given some other vaccine. So in that sense, do you feel that all these people we have vaccinated first, so we'll need a higher number of vaccines made available quickly for the second dose, which basically means that these new vaccine candidates who are now coming in and getting emergency use authorization may not be of that great help for people waiting for their second dose?
Sanket, again very important question, but you will also realize that we are also thinking now of heterologous vaccination instead of homologous, because that has also given us better immunity also, which has been proven with regard to Covishield and Covaxin, though we tested it on a lesser number of doses, and now CMC Vellore is going to take up that study on a larger basis. But you see, other challenges which we need to look at from the vaccination perspective is that whether we need to increase our doses, which is another challenge, whether we need to give it in the form of a booster, or we need to do a fractional dose of vaccine. These are three important challenges which also we need to look from the vaccination perspective.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Joshi, Dr. Shashank Joshi is now also with us, member of the COVID-19 task force in Maharashtra. Dr. Joshi, would you like to share your experience in Maharashtra? Do you think that our vaccination rate will be able to match or be able to meet this challenge of a third wave, that we'll be able to avoid or avert?
So, Saket, let me be very honest. That might be a little tough, but Maharashtra has now got 5 crore vaccines done for an eligible population of 9 crores. The first dose is in, which is actually reasonable, I would say, with all the limitations we have. We will have to get into innovative measures of vaccinating quicker and faster, like intradermal routes, fractionating the vaccines, using mix and match, because we are definitely not as much on the schedule as we wanted to be, but that will always be a desire. But at the same time, we have also hit a critical threshold for the Delta, some degree of herd immunity threshold. If we see that if 2/3 of India is immune, and if the sero survey is reasonably representative of the exposure, and if the vaccination is now going at 88 lakhs per day, it is a very reassuring sign. But definitely there is a cause of concern that whether we will be able to pip it before the third wave or not is a unanswered question. And I think it will depend upon the variant of concern. If a new variant of concern emerges, whatever we will predict will go wrong.
Correct.
But let us hope and pray that our critical immune threshold remains. We continue vaccinating at this pace or a little faster pace and get out of this. But we definitely will need to do something more innovative and strategize it a little better, like fractionating, using intradermal route for Covishield, because our prime vaccine today, which is most people have got, is Covishield.
Correct.
And we will have to innovate on that platform only. Other vaccines will come, but the production, supply and logistics need to match, and that will still go through a learning curve. So I think by September, October, we should have a situation where we have surplus vaccines. But right now, we are still struggling. But I think now things are picking up as we had anticipated them to pick up. And if they pick up in a bigger way, we will be in a better shape.
All right, Dr. Joshi as well as Dr. Garg, thank you very much. And those two solutions that were mentioned by Dr. Joshi, we're going to have another program to talk about how we can make the most of the vaccines that we already have. Thank you very much for watching this broadcast. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay with us.